Okay, so hello, everybody. I'm Linda Nellis, IVMF's Alumni Service and Engagement Coordinator. And thank you so much for joining the Daniello Institute for Veterans and Military Families VetNet today. We're going to explore how AI is rapidly shaping the career development landscape. You're going to hear from IVMF's Program Manager of Education and Training, Brian Radliff, and IVMF alum Alejandra Emegan, owner of Jack's Natural Healing. They're going to share insights and their experiences with AI and what it means for professional development. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Brian, who will provide insight on the current state of AI and the AI Essentials course offering.
Thank you very much, Linda. As Linda said, my name is Brian Radliff. I'm the program manager for education and training here at the Institute for Veterans Military Family. I'm a 31-year plus retiree of the Army, came on board with the Institute in 2019, so I'll be going on year 6 here in September. And I manage a lot of the information technology offerings and help administer some of our different learning management systems that we have here at the Institute. So ranging from our primary LMS, which is Skillsoft Percipio, to our Cisco Networking Academy learning management systems, and our latest, which I'll talk a little bit about, our current offering that we're offering starting this month with our alumni, and that's our Google offerings, which are housed on the Coursera learning management system. So let me throw up a couple slides here real quick, and we'll talk a little bit about AI and where it's at. And really, this is really just going to be informative. Going to give you a lot of resources to think about. The bottom line is AI is the big buzzword, but for those of you that have done a little research or are kind of historians in nature, AI has actually been around since the 3rd and 4th century, but it really started getting big in the U.S. In the 1950s. So if you look at the history back in 1952, Arthur Samuel developed the first program that was Checkers. That was a self-learning program that was the first of its kind. And back in 1955, Professor John McCarthy held a workshop at Dartmouth entitled Artificial Intelligence. So it's been around for a while. But what we have seen, and I've heard, I've sat in a couple of professional development sessions, what they've titled as the perfect storm, right? So what have we seen happen in the last couple of years here? We've seen the explosion of big data. We've seen the increased use of the cloud and cloud services, and the exponential growth of supercomputers and computers that run very fast. So that perfect storm has created the environment to develop a number of artificial intelligence tools that are out there. So we here at the Institute were fortunate last year to partner up with Google.org, and we started off with our cybersecurity professional certificate offering. And the most recent that we're able to offer to our participants, which all of you are going to get the first access to, that is starting this month. We're going to have a supplemental offering to all of our alumni of the Google AI Essentials. So if you look there on a slide, bottom line, it is an asynchronous, right? So at your own pace course, you'll have 30 days access to our Coursera learning platform for the Google AI Essentials offering, and I'm also going to talk about some of the other, once you get in there and kind of demystify and get some of the basic understandings of what AI is, some of the, how should we ethically use AI, and how can we apply it to both our personal and professional life, then that'll give you an opportunity to expand your knowledge and go to some of the other tools that you have access through, not just through us here, as being an alumni of the IVMF, but also, I'll talk about it on my next slide. If as you probably came through one of our programs, we talked about networking and expanding your network. I'm sure most of you have a LinkedIn account, and then for those of you that are just coming off of service and you got that first, I think they're currently, it's about a $500 to $600 value for a year of LinkedIn Premium. If you're one of those veterans that are coming off your time in servicing and taking advantage of that LinkedIn veterans offering that they have out there, you can, there's a number of LinkedIn resources that you can use. So like I said, Linda will talk a little bit about it later on, but starting this month, we're going to run our first monthly cohort. So you don't necessarily have to take advantage of this month, but from July forward, at the middle of each month, the second Wednesday of each month, we will be launching access to the Google AI Essentials for our alumni. So you'll have 30-day access to complete, it says up to 10 hours, depending. I've had some people complete it in as quick as 6 hours, some folks in 10 hours, depending on what your background is, and how much time you want to spend doing some of the hands-on exercises that are in that. So let me go on to my next slide. So as I said, as you're starting to learn about some of the AI capabilities that are out there, your AI Essentials will give you the basics of what's out there. And for those of you that are paying attention, most of the big information and technology vendors out there, Microsoft, they have Azure and Copilot. Amazon has SageMaker. IBM has Watson. In fact, the Institute itself, when we developed our a couple years ago, we had a virtual reality resume interviewing program, and our background analytics that we used when we developed that program was Watson from IBM, which helped to give our participants some feedback on their interviewing capabilities. But you also got, here at the Institute, we use Salesforce as our CRM. Salesforce has Einstein. Probably the big one that most folks know is, OpenAI's GPT-4, which was, kind of like Prince, formerly known as ChatGPT, right? So the most up-to-date version of GPT-4. Google's got Vertex and Gemini. So a lot of different tools out there have different capabilities, but the bottom line is AI is the way of the future. Businesses are using them to try to be more effective and efficient. They're using all that data out there to help make decisions and make their companies more efficient to get that competitive edge. But on top of now having access to the Google AI Essentials, if you look on here, in September, as I said earlier, I manage one of our other learning management systems. As Cisco Networking Academy does their convergence between their two platforms, which is Skills for All and the Legacy Networking Academy. It's been around for about 25 years. We will start offering the Networking Academy's AI fundamentals with IBM Skill Builder. So that will be available starting in September. And then for those of you that are either still just coming off of or becoming new alumni through the O2O program, and you still have access to Skillsoft Percipio, or you'll learn today if you're applying for that aftermarket alumni access. There's a number of great resources on Skillsoft Percipio. So they have a if you look at the makeup of Skillsoft Percipio, they have what are called channels, which are broad categories. So they do have an artificial intelligence channel, and underneath that, they got a number of great aspiring journeys. So whether it's, again, learning more on the basic side of AI, the introduction, you got the inspiring journey for AI introduction, generative AI pitfalls. So learning about those, how to properly use prompts to get the best outcome for the different generators that are out there. If you're looking at going a little bit more high tech and really looking at going into a more an actual career field in AI engineering, they got an aspiring journey to that. So if you look, there's a number of resources, including some books. So one of the books that I've been starting to work my way through is Artificial Intelligence for Managers. So if understanding the capabilities and requirements that are out there, understanding what's available to you, whether it be through software, through cloud services and so forth, and then how can you apply them to your workforce to make them more effective and efficient. That's a great resource. And then, as I mentioned earlier, for those of you that have LinkedIn access or have a LinkedIn account and maybe have either LinkedIn Premium or just got the separate LinkedIn Learning, a number of great resources on LinkedIn, and those are just a few of them that I've got available. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I will throw over in the chat after I hand it over a couple of great articles that I would definitely recommend as you start getting better understanding of what capabilities are out there and then what specific jobs. Because the bottom line is, just like all internet technologies or information technologies, AI is going to start being embedded in everything we do, right? So whether you're just utilizing the capabilities or you actually want to go into the career field where there's lots of opportunities, I'll throw in the chat a couple great resources ranging from high-paying jobs and career fields that you may potentially be looking at pursuing, the in-demand skills for AI professionals, and then some of the great software tools that are out there depending on what you're looking for, whether it be generative AI. One of the things I really like, because I grew up, I was a photography person my whole life. I love the generative capability of graphics. So now I don't have to go out and worry about copywriting or taking someone's. I can let generative AI help develop a lot of my current graphics, or use it to help me with some of my language and so forth. So I'll throw those up in the chat. But Linda, I'm going to pass it back over to you, and we'll pass it on to our guest to talk to the next piece.
Thank you so much, Brian. Now I'd like to hand it over to Alejandra to share her insights and experiences with AI as far as professional and business development, after which we'll have time for Brian and Alejandra to answer some questions that were submitted, and you'll be able to also put any questions that you may have in chat.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Brian. So I'm just going to speak to you just as a small business owner. First of all, I have to say that I am not tech. I have never been tech, but AI has actually helped me to maybe claim a little bit to say that I'm techie. I'll own that. I accept that. So I'm just going to give you like a view of me as a business owner before AI and after AI. And I love these opportunities to speak, because I get to reflect on my own journeys and my own paths, and okay, how is it affecting me? And so as I was reviewing these questions and kind of thinking about what I was going to say today, I'm like, I feel so fortunate that I started a business at this time, because things are just so much easier than I think they were before. And some of my fellow business owners who, have been open for 10 and 15, 20 years, they're like, you're so lucky. You've got it so easy. You don't know what the struggle is. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry about your luck, but here we are. So before AI, my day-to-day operations, to say I was overwhelmed is like an understatement. I, was managing scheduling, managing customer data, trying to manage routine like inquiries, tasks. And so it was a constant conflict between sitting behind the computer or doing what I do best, which is in front of my customers and, the human interaction. That's what I'm good at. That's where my talents lie. However, as a small business owner and bootstrapping and, trying to watch where the money's going, you can't always hire, people to do this or to do that. And so I was having to manage a lot of projects, management, a lot of tasks, marketing strategies, projections of, financial projections, or so there was just a lot that was taking away from what I'm good at, which is being me. And so there's this daunting, overwhelming conflict of where do I spend my time? Where do I spend my energy? And so after AI, here comes all these AI tools that I now use. And AI has allowed me to spend less time on the tedious tasks and then on the manual tasks. And the results have now been, since I've implemented a lot of tools, just to be very, very transparent and raw. So we, I should have told you what business I was in, what industry I was in. That might have helped. So I own a Jack's Natural Healing, which is a holistic and wellness service in Jacksonville, Florida. Along with it, I also have a yoga studio. And I've since also opened a second venture, which is Cultures Consulting Firm, which is a company where we build strategies with corporations and companies who want to deliver and connect to the Hispanic US market. So lots of marketing there with that business. Well, really with all of them, with both of them. So I was very busy. And so I needed to figure out a way of how to become as efficient as possible to be able to grow both companies and manage both companies without feeling like, what am I doing? I've gone crazy at the end of the day, and, staying up all night because I'm wondering, did I do this? Did I do that? What's next? So after AI, I have grown just within this year. I was doing some calculations just within this year, relying heavily on AI tools. We were seeing about 250 clients in my office. We've now gone to 800 per month. So that's a huge increase. My revenue has also increased by 300% because of the increase in the people that we're seeing. But the funny thing is I was looking at our numbers of staff. Our team has grown since I've started using a lot of AI tools. So, there's this belief, I think, that a lot of people are thinking, well, if I use these AI tools, it's going to replace humans. It hasn't replaced humans for me. It has actually created more revenue so they can hire on more humans to deliver the human experience, to elevate my client experience. So now we're just not spending our time on the mundane, tedious, strategy creating, gathering data, reviewing data, researching data. Now we're actually client facing and figuring out, what else can we do? And I think that was another thing that really hit home yesterday. Is before, ideas used to seem so unattainable. I would be, sitting in meditation or reading a book, and I would have this great idea, and this, my heart would just fire up. So this was before AI, and I would get to writing, pen and paper, and I'm like, okay, where do I start? And it just felt so big and so unmanageable, just the idea of where do I start, that I was like, never mind. And so I would just squash a lot of ideas, a lot of dreams, a lot of things that I would want to create because I didn't know where to start. So now, after AI, along comes ChatGPT, my BFF, and we do speak to each other like we're BFFs. So I have lots of respect for her. She's a her, by the way. So after AI and using my bestie, ideas now are like, okay, how do I do this? How do I create this? How do I make this? Give me a timeline, give me a strategy, give me marketing, give me policies, give me legal aspects around this. So now everything's like 5 minutes. The idea suddenly is within reach and completely attainable. So it's definitely been a game changer for me, AI tools. And I will say, Brian kind of touched on it a little bit on how to use AI ethically. You do have to keep that in mind. So, the way I use AI, especially ChatGPT, it's still my ideas. It's still my essence. I just put in the information that I want just to help me organize. And Linda's coming on the screen. That's probably an indicator to me that I've chatted too much. Is it?
Not
No?
at all. You take your time. You're doing fabulous.
Okay.
You keep going, and when you're done, we'll go ahead with some questions.
Okay. So I don't know, am I allowed to say some of the things that I use? Okay. So definitely ChatGPT and Yes, I feel so scatterbrained. Yes, Kiki, this helps. And so scatterbrained is not, I've realized that it's not a bad quality. And ChatGPT, I'm creative. That's what scatterbrained is. It's just you're creative and you're tapping in to that creativity. And then what ChatGPT helps me and allows me to do is just to organize my thoughts and organize these ideas in a way where then creative me can go and achieve and attain, not scatterbrained, creative. So some of the tools that I use, definitely ChatGPT. I use HubSpot. I use in my software, in my scheduling software, it has AI automation implemented. So, you know, I use that to send out to my clients who haven't been in for, you know, a week, or who I haven't seen for 15 days, or who I haven't seen for 30 days. And we have different automations that, you know, the clients receive to say, hey, haven't seen you, come on in. And what's really cool is on my software, I have what's called a churn report. And so it picks up on the trends on my clients and in the way that they schedule, how far out they're scheduling their visits with us. And so this churn report gives me a list. And it's the churn report is people who are dangerously close to falling off of visiting me, off you know, coming in for our services. So now this churn report helps me, instead of like going through person by person, when was the last time this person came in? I have this churn report that now shows up, you know, I have like a list of 5 people, and it tells me those 5 people are dangerously close to not being your customers. And so guess who I'm paying attention to that week? I'm texting, I'm reaching out, I'm doing face-to-face. So now instead of being caught behind my computer, I'm paying attention to my clients, and I'm making sure that, hey, you're still valued here. I still see you. I need you in this space. You make a difference. So I think because of that, that has helped me to maintain. And, you know, it's always said the cheap, when you talk about client acquisition costs, the cheapest client to keep is the one you already have. So I'm not having to go out and search for new clients because I didn't pay attention to these AI generated reports, to then shift my attention and energy to what matters most, which is my humans that help me stay in business. So what else do I use? I use Evernote. So in note taking, in meetings, and or even just like my own notes, Evernote helps to organize those notes into a plan. Like, you know, whether it's time management, whether it's a list of tasks for me to complete, it helps to organize those notes. Because how many times do you sit in a meeting and you take notes and then you find them like 2 weeks later and you're like, oh yeah, I don't know what that was for. It's just like, throw it away, scratch it off my list. But now actually you can do something using these AI tools with Evernote. Another thing, if you are just getting started in your venture in entrepreneurship, the one tool that I used and that I loved, I think I wrote it down. Oh no, live plan. So it's everything you need to know to launch and grow your business, from timelines to checklists to marketing strategies to profit and loss statements to balance budget. Everything is on this live plan, and you're just feeding the information, and it's giving you this organized output, a beautiful plan for you to just follow. And then, so even just starting up a business, so there's the tools of once you're in business, but even just starting up a business, here's live plan for you to use to help organize yourself. What else did I want to really hit? And with ChatGPT, I'll say input equals your outcome. Input equals your output. The stronger your input is, your prompts into your tools, whatever you're using, Copilot or ChatGPT, the stronger your output is going to be. So make sure you're very clear and concise in what it is exactly that you're looking for, who your target audience is, and what the expected outcome is. I always make sure I include that into my prompt so that I don't have to go back and say, oh, but what about this? Oh, but what about that? So it's all about efficiency. Am I over, under?
Oh, no, you're great, but I mean, are you ready for some questions?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready.
Hey, Linda, I just wanted to share one quick slide because I actually had it as a backup slide, and she just brought it up in her talking about technology. So you know what? We all know the world we live in, and if you stay stationary, you're gonna get passed by technology. So this was actually from a seminar I went to at the end of last year, which I thought was pretty interesting. Again, using data and information that's out there, but by 2025, 85 million what you call analog jobs, or straight up human jobs, are being replaced by machines or technology. But those 85 million that are being replaced, 97 million new jobs are being created. So the bottom line is the job world, the business world is relying on technology to keep us proficient and moving forward in life. So something I thought I'd share, because you just talked about how important being effective and efficient is, because ultimately time is money, right? So the more efficient, more efficiently we can use our time, and when we're in business and we're trying to stay competitive and use those tools that are out there, the more effective and efficient we're going to be.
Thank you so much, Brian. So since you mentioned tools, there was a question, is there a cost for these tools?
So you want to answer? Go ahead.
So the tools that I use, yes, there is a cost. However, the return on investment is much greater than the $20 that I'm spending monthly for some of these tools. Interesting. I was just looking at Coursera yesterday, and I saw that Coursera has like a $9 plan even monthly, and Coursera is just to help you learn AI tools. So, Evernote, I think, is free. So a lot of these have free, that I use, have a free service. If you want just like a higher level, or you want to add seats, users, then you do pay. I do recommend, when you are at a place where you can start paying for some of these services, it's really worth it. And I'll turn it over to Brian.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say simple things as simple as, like, formerly known as ChatGPT or GPT-4. What it has to do with the free version, you're getting a different data set and different technologies than the ChatGPT-4, the more current version. So ultimately, if you think about it, you get what you pay for. So if you're using the free version, you're probably not getting the latest and greatest. If you're putting a little cost into it, especially if you're using it for business, your return on your investment is going to be exponential. So.
Thank you both. So Brian, how can the AI Essentials course offering provide career growth and help enter the AI industry?
So I guess I use the analogy of the military, the Army, right? So how does the Army build competent soldiers and leaders? Training, education, and experience, right? You got to start somewhere. You're not going to come in, no matter what your experience and background is, and come into the Army as a general or come into the Army as a sergeant major. You build through. So the great thing about AI Essentials is it's going to give you that groundwork to demystify a lot of the stuff that's out there, because as we know, there's a lot of information out there nowadays. So it'll give you a baseline understanding of what some of the different tools are, what some of the different terminologies are. Learning things like supervised versus unsupervised, what the different capabilities that are out there, whether it's, working on languages or working on using data to develop graphics. one of the programs I ran here, what I came in initially was on the cyber side. So, one of the places professionally I feel that a lot of organizations have fallen behind on is using generative AI to help write code. The bad guys are using it. We gotta stay current and use some of those great tools that are out there to help save us time and more effective and efficient with code writing. So, and everyone doesn't necessarily need to be the technical person. So depending on where you are and how you can apply it to your business, a lot of it's just about understanding, building your network, getting recommendations from people that you trust on. She just gave a great, I wrote down that live plan. So, I've got a business background. I got a number of friends that are just starting up in business. So that's something that's a tool I'm going to go back and evaluate and recommend that to those folks that I know that are starting up businesses.
Thank you so much. So this question you can both answer if you'd like. Can you share any real world applications of AI that you found helpful in your career?
I think ChatGPT for me has been extremely helpful in that I always wanted to have a credentialing program for yoga certifications. And it took me a year to write our curriculum. So this was pre AI. So after AI, I threw it into AI, my curriculum, to kind of clean it up and organize it a little bit better. But I just go back to thinking, and it does it in seconds, in a fraction of a time of time. And I go back to thinking about, wow, that year that it took me to write this curriculum could have been done in 30 minutes. So the time that it has given back to me, and so again, I love this opportunity because I was able to reflect last night. I don't feel that sense of, and for some of you business owners that are just getting started, you're in year 1, 2, 3, this feeling of like, you can't even breathe because there's so much to do all of the time. I don't feel that anymore. And even when there is a sense of overwhelm, I'm like, okay, what tool can I pull in? And so I think actually it has really helped my mental health quite a bit because I'm not so stressed. I'm not so burnt out. And the joy of what I do and what I set out to do, my purpose, I have been able to reconnect with that. And I again love being a business owner, and it doesn't feel like, a trap anymore. I have these tools. We've been able to grow our team. So even with utilizing AI, it hasn't, kept me from hiring. Our team is now bigger than we've ever been. So I just, the time that it's given me back, the ability to now just, give me back the opportunity to do what I do best, which is being me. That you can't replace that with AI tools. Not yet. That's all.
I can relate to everything you just said. Thank you so much for all of that. Brian, did you have anything that you'd like to add?
Actually, I was going to hit on two things and just kind of reinforcing what she was just talking about, and going back to your original question is, what's one of the things that the AI Essentials is going to do? She talked about prompting. So a lot of these AI tools have the similar capabilities, whether it be, like I said, whether it be Google Gemini, whether it be a Copilot, whether it be ChatGPT, but as you use those tools and you learn how to prompt better, you become more effective and efficient. So that's one of the things I did like about this AI Essentials course, is it will give you some exercises so you get some hands-on experience, and you don't have to necessarily just use Google's Gemini. They you can use any of those tools, but it's gonna ask you and walk you through some exercises that will get you familiar and comfortable with some of the AI tools that are out there.
So, and probably a great follow-up question to that in chat, does AI ever give you imposter syndrome?
No, and I think that goes back to using AI ethically. You can smell out, you can see when somebody's using AI, Copilot, or chat, and it's all just chat. It has no human essence. You can tell, like, there's this way that it's written. You can tell when it's just chat GPT or AI and it has no human essence in it. So no, it's again like the prompting, the telling it what I want it to do is coming from me. It's very specific to me, to my values, to who I am, and I have it mold to me. I am not molding to it. So one thing that I recommend and I always tell everybody to do is tell GPT who you are and then have it memorize that. So I always have it memorize who I am, memorize what I've just said, memorize this and use it going forward to remember, that my essence needs to remain in everything that you write. So I feel elevated. I feel like I have superpowers now, but not imposter syndrome at all.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. And like I said, I don't, not that I don't ever see AI completely replacing humans, but you can definitely, being that I'm an adjunct professor and I do get some of my student stuff, I can tell the kids that have put thought into it. Because again, one of the things you'll learn in AI Essentials are things called hallucinations. What's a hallucination? Bottom line is AI is pulling data that's out there. There's a lot of corrupt data that's out there, and depending on what data it's pulling from and what the base is, there's gonna be hallucinations or inappropriate results that come from those promptings. So there's no perfect solution, but once you take the human side and you have the critical thinking skills, it's great to help facilitate getting that end result that you want without, as you said before, going through the minutia of starting from scratch and brainstorming, and not having something else to help you brainstorm, bring up ideas. So for me, it just helps me be more effective and efficient. And then there was someone that asked in the chat about AI, using AI for coding. There's a number of them out there, the tools that are out there. I'll be honest with you, I haven't done any coding in a number of years. I do have two boys that are both going to college for cyber and information technology. So I know they use Sync and Amazon Code Whisper and a couple of other ones. But again, the advice I always give people is, what is the requirement? What's the capability you're looking for? Realize that the free versions or the unpaid for versions are not going to be as efficient as what you pay for, because those companies still have to make a return on the investment of providing that service in some way, shape, or form. So there's a lot out there. Get into the communities, use your network. It depends on specifically what coding and how you want to utilize it, but there are some great ones out there. And I always tell people is, I use my SMEs. I'm a generalist. I've got a lot of knowledge. I know when things don't smell or look right, and when I have to have a question, I do the old game show of phone a friend, right? Or get on LinkedIn and send a message to my SMEs that are more detailed or more embedded in that particular aspect of information technology or writing code. I got my friends that manage servers. So when it comes to Linux or Red Hat or any of those languages that they're using with servers, those are the folks that I ask the questions of. So rely on your network. Just realize that there is not necessarily one golden ticket out there, but at the end of the day, you get what you pay for and what you're looking at. And you may be paying for it with time versus monies and resources. So it may be a slower program that takes you to use prompts more. You may end up getting that same end result versus another program that helps automate some of those manual tasks that you're going to have to do if you're not paying for it.
Great information. So you did, of course, talk about the AI Essentials course, but in addition to that, how can one stay up with advancements in order to be prepared for a successful AI career?
So, in fact, I'm just getting ready to do a briefing to one of our cohorts on information technology. One of the things that you'll find when you start utilizing things like, you got certificates and certifications. The reason why certifying bodies require you to recertify every, generally speaking, about every 3 years, especially in the information technology realm, is because things are changing. So, if you look at it for those folks that are in the IT world, right now, simple things like CompTIA Security Plus, they've updated their curriculum about once a year for the last 3 years. So we just changed over to Security Plus 701 because the cybersecurity information world is being exponentially changed due to that perfect storm that I talked about. Faster computers, more data, more people using those tools to come up with more innovative ways to do nefarious stuff and not use AI ethically, which is one of the things that they talk about in this training. So best way, stay current, get some certifications, build your network of professionals, your subject matter experts. You may not have to stay up on everything, but if you got those people that are in that particular field that you can go and ask the question of, that's what they're doing as part of their profession. They're more embedded into coding or this or that or capability. So expand your network. You use your friends, call a friend, phone a friend, stay current with your certifications, continue to build your certifications. So as you become more experienced and educated, you're going to probably go more from being a hands-on person to a management, professional or a leader. You're not going to have all the knowledge, but you're going to have people that are doing different capabilities under you that you have to have a pretty good understanding of, but be able to ask the questions of the right people.
Thank you so much. Alejandra, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
And the only thing so there's, yes, taking the courses and the certifications, which I highly recommend. Super excited about this upcoming program that you guys are launching and opportunities to learn and advance ourselves. But also Instagram, TikTok, like utilize, stop following the fashion stuff and the like movie star stuff and follow these tips on how to use ChatGPT, how to strengthen your ChatGPT prompts, or Canva tips. Canva has so much AI integrated now into it. I was thinking about it. I had to turn in headshots, and it was a real quick turnaround time that they needed it in. I did a headshot using AI, and it wasn't too far off of what my real picture would have looked like. So, but I learned all these little tricks from social media. So use your social media in a way that still serves you, benefits you, and the growth of your business. So follow some pages. Just look up, probably hashtag AI prompts, AI tips, AI tools, and follow some of those people.
Great, thank you so much. So we have a couple of questions in the chat that I was going to address at the end of the VetNet, just asking about how to access the course. So I'll answer that now, and then we'll probably have time for a couple more questions. So if you are interested in accessing the AI Essentials course, you're going to send us an email indicating your interest. And if you have had a previous Coursera account, please include that in the email to receive the invitation for the 30-day Google AI Essentials course. So it's really important that you let us know if you have a previous Coursera account. So I'll just mention that again at the end, but I did want to make sure to address that. So is there an AI that helps with daily scheduling or tasks like a dashboard or a virtual planner?
HubSpot, I would say. I'm not sure, like a personal. Is this a personal or is it company? I think HubSpot, though, would be able to help with that. That's what I use.
Great. Yeah, it looks like somebody is suggesting Notion for that. So there's a couple people chiming in. So thank you all for helping with that. So just a couple more. How do you see AI assisting and translating military CVs to civilian speak?
Well, now I can actually kind of going back to the vignette I talked about earlier, the IBM Watson that we used actually pulled out the use of acronyms. But one of the most effective, efficient uses of AIs right now is translation. So off the top of my head, I haven't seen any of the programs that do that, but I guarantee by using a few prompts and doing a little bit of research, there are some that are out there that are doing it. So translation, language translation has been one of the areas that AI has had the most success, and there's a lot of energy being put into that right now. So but I can't, off the top of my head, I don't have any particular tools or recommendations to make on that one.
So how should non-technical folks think about AI integrations and best practices for decision making?
I would tell folks to take Google AI Essentials, learn the capabilities that are out there, and come back and ask me a question, because a lot of it goes back to understanding the capabilities that are out there. And so I don't know if that's my answer.
That's really helpful. So last question would be, how do you decide on a topic that will get your audience's attention when you're just starting to post about your business?
So I would say start with what your goal is. What is your end result? What do you want it to be? Do you want to attract new customers? What kind of customers? How old? Like, give it all of the information that you have. As much information as you can put into it, the better. And then have it learn whatever tool you're using it. Have it learn that, have it memorize that. So whatever your outcome is. So if I say, so here's one thing I just did. So recently I got together with my team and we wanted to increase our revenue by 20% before the fall. So it was a summer strategy. So tell me how I can increase my revenue by 20% using these specific services at this cost. In my zip code, like I can't remember what else I put in. And my deadline is this date. I'm going to use social media platforms. I'm going to use email blasts. I'm going to use, so I told it all of the things that I was going to use. And guess what it did? Like seconds, it pops up. Boop, 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 everything I needed to do. And so now all I did was I turned around, gave it to the team, and I said, here's the plan for the summer. This is what we need to do. And now I also have AI integrated tools that are watching my trends, watching my revenue, and everything is on target as I wanted it to do. So it really is, going back to the question, I mean, it's really, what do you want your outcome to be? Like, what is it that you want? Do you want new followers to your page? Do you want, so then prompt it, I want this many new followers to my page. Like, give it a number. By whatever date, what do I need to do if I provide this kind of service and my target audience is this? Speak to them, from their problem, and then I address the solution. So that's how I would do that.
Great. Any last minute thoughts that either of you would like to share? If not, did you have anything, Alejandra?
I would just say jump in there. YouTube has been very great too for me on what, searching like top 10 AI tools a small business user in health and wellness should be using, and then they give you all of these reviews. So you don't have to go do the research. People review tools and then you just listen. Oh, that might be helpful for me. Let me go check it out. Let me go, and all of these things are so easy to use. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I continue to reinforce all the stuff she just said. Requirements, what do you need? The capability you're looking for. And then when you start utilizing it, prompts. So input equals efficient output. So the more detailed you can get, the more past that engine can go out and segregate out what you're looking for, the better the data is that you're going to get on the and that's, as I said, that's one of the nice things about the AI Essentials. If you take it, you're actually going to be doing some of those exercises and learning about how to effectively use prompts to get the best end state that you need.
Yep, I can definitely vouch for that. I learned a lot from the course and it was super helpful. I had no idea the half of what you could do with it. So thank you both so much for your time. Cannot tell you how great this was and how much we appreciate it. And thank you everybody for attending. I did want to let you know we'll be sending out a follow-up email with the recording. And just again to reiterate, if you are interested in the AI Essentials course, please send an email. Definitely let us know if you have a previous Coursera account, what that email would be. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to ivmfalumni@syr.edu. And our email, of course, will be in the email that you receive as a follow-up. So thank you so much. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day.
Bye, thank you.